My dear fellow Nigerians, I know you feel the pain and difficulty associated with being in Nigeria. You are not alone. Like many of you, I've had to question the existential permutation of how I ended up in Nigeria. Why was I not born in a developed country in the West or in one of the Asian tigers of the East? Just the other day, I was having a casual discussion with my colleagues on the state of the nation, and to point out a reference, can you imagine a Nigerian state-owned oil company whose mandate is to generate income for a nation with over 200 million population through exploration, refining, exportation of crude oil and sales of petroleum products, could barely give an account of the actual revenue it generated to the country's coffer for over 3 decades? Who did this to? Still on this matter, it was reported in 2015 that a whopping sum of 3.88 trillion was pocketed by private individuals. 82 billion also lost to unknown barefaced men in 2017. And in 2021, NNPC's net worth is about 674 billion. Until date, the actual worth is still unknown. The NNPC operates several refineries in Nigeria, which are responsible for the processing of crude oil into finished products such as gas, diesel, and kerosene. This corporation also markets these products domestically and internationally, ensuring their availability to consumers. They provide regulations, they provide oversight, they do maintenance, and they manage contracts with the sole aim of generating revenue for the country. This agency has failed multiple times to bring profit to the country. However, they have been running at a loss for years, and the purpose of their creation, of course, is forfeited and their essence devalued. The question to ask is, what do they lack? Who is responsible for the loss? What can we do to make it better? Fellow Nigerians, the actual problem is structure. I will channel all resources in building that world's largest refinery in this nation. I will create a system where every pinch of crude oil drilled and refined in the country is accounted for. I will ensure frequent visits from auditors, and they are entertained in their offices quarterly, if not possible on monthly basis. And aside all this, there will be a regulating agency with stringent rules and regulation to monitor the inflow and outflow of resources from that sector. And these same auditors will only be accountable to I, the president alone. Fellow Nigerians, say no to cabal and yes to accountability. This is the right time for them to be accountable for every pinch of crude oil extracted from this country. In recent times, there is an exodus of citizens. We have private organizations, or let's say some influential persons in the oil and gas who are making huge profits in Nigeria. People like Mohammed Indimi, whose net worth as at 2021 is 1.5 billion US dollars. Mike Adenuga, 4.3 billion US dollars. CY Danjuma, 600 million US dollars. The popular Ehe Rano Alhaji Abdullahi is net worth famous at $1 million. And in this same country is where they are drilling the oil. And our own for a whole country, and our net worth in 2021 is just 674 million naira. Ours is in naira, not in dollars like theirs. Okay, for me, I think We also have oil bunkers who against all odds milk the country dry to the detriment of their citizens. And this is another level of corruption and mismanagement of countries' resources when the wealth of a nation is trickling into the pockets of some selected few. The question is, how have they been doing it unnoticed? If I become the president of this great nation, I will block all loopholes and enforce principles that will guide their modes of operation in this country. It takes a thief to catch a thief. In recent times, there is an exodus of citizens having to leave the shores of this nation to seek better economy, advantage for themselves and their family. This is a direct consequence of the rot and instability that has plagued the Nigerian state for many years. More worrisome for me is the loss of competent and bright professionals across varying sectors who are leaving the country in droves. The question I ask you is, who will replace these professionals? How long will we need to retain the upcoming ones? I'm sure you know the answer. People who have jackpot a local plans for escape, or people who are planning to jump out of the shores of this nation, will identify with me that most of these countries do not have our population figure. They do not even hustle like we do. They don't have the creativity, the tenacity like we do. But what this country have is enough: equality, good economy, justice, security, rule of law, and collective words. They see the need to have good roads. They invested in good road construction. They know anyone can be sick at any time of their lives. They invested heavily in healthcare. They do not hold their health workers' salary. They don't need to wait for people to carry placards before they attend to their needs. Their well-being, the well-being of their citizens is their priority, and each life worth millions of dollars. After all, they don't need to run to any country for hair or nose treatment. But do you know that do you know how much they sell anti-malaria drugs recently? Do you know that to have a full, complete typhoid treatment costs nothing less than 50,000 naira? I am in the health sector, so I know how much it costs on a daily basis. How many average Nigerians can afford that? This is to tell you that your life matters to me. Your life matters to the AMA political party. Vote AMA, vote Mimisola. Many villages have been deserted, and many people no longer travel by road. It's unfortunate. The train station, best used in other countries, have turned to death trap. The rate of kidnapping in the country is alarming. People are being kidnapped right in their houses, and the abductors demand huge ransom. There seems to be no regard for human life, and everywhere you turn is experiencing some sort of problem that requires government intervention. If I becomes the president, I will equip the security apparatus. I will collaborate with other countries to fight terrorism, because I know this is not what I can do. It has eaten deep into the system. I will ensure that all internally displaced persons can go back to their states and continue their work, rather than having to turn them to baby making factories, impregnating their daughters and their children in the IDPs. You know, when an idle man is a devil's workshop. Of course, what did you expect them to do? They can't go to work, they can't do anything. They will sit there and be enjoying what their manhood can bring. I will also ensure that I strengthen the judicial system to the level at which justice is well served to culprits with accuracy and speed. I will also ensure that within the next 4 years of my administration, all citizens of this nation would have a national ID, and their information and fingerprints are on the relevant agency database. This way, criminals can easily be tracked down and their records updated from time to time.